I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently, a podcast where we explore the ins and outs of what becomes possible when we're willing to think, do, and show up differently to the moments of our everyday lives. Do you find yourself longing for more balance in your life? Would a better balance between life and work really make the difference? Or could it be something else? I repeatedly hear people expressing a desire for more balance in their lives. We hear about it all over the place, work-life balance. What I believe they're saying is, I've lost control of how I spend my time and feel at the mercy of my circumstances and the demands of people around me. And what they deeply desire is to feel productive and feel like the things that matter most have space and priority in their life too. There are times when work requires more of us and times when personal matters consume more of our time and energy. The more important question to ask is, how can I thrive amidst the ever-changing climate and responsibilities of my daily life? The perceived solution, it appears that if we just work harder, get more done, adopt strategies to be more efficient so we can fit more into the not enough time we already don't have, then we will have arrived. How's that going? Are you getting the sustainable results you desire? I believe the real solution is an inside approach. The real solution lies within you. What if balance is an inside job, and when we get things lined up on the inside, it becomes easier to manage the external demands in a way that aligns with our bigger priorities? When I made it my mission to uncover the true barriers to fulfillment and feeling balanced, everything began to change in ways I never believed possible. The beauty in this approach is when you address the root, you set yourself up for lasting change. The root I have discovered is a default operating system that I call our survival model. You can peek back on a prior episode where I dive much more deeply into that. It's a way of thinking, believing, approaching, and doing life that at one time literally helped us to survive. The problem for most of us is that we're trying to create new, more fulfilling results from an old, outdated model designed only for survival. My own survival model kept me in a cycle of being more, doing more, giving more, pleasing more, while never feeling like it was enough. When I received positive feedback from the outer world, I felt pretty good. But the moment it went away, the cycle kicked in to do more, be more, work harder, be better. This pattern left me exhausted. I found it impossible to sustain the good feelings I desired, and on the inside, felt empty and completely out of balance. It took my life falling apart to say enough. I made it my mission to shut down the engine of the old model and invent something new. We can apply all the time management strategies we want and even execute the external motions to create work-life balance. But if we're operating from an old, outdated model, the likelihood we will enjoy and experience the rewards for our lasting time are slim. When I disengaged from this old model, I discovered the freedom to make new intentional choices that allowed me to feel better, have more space in my life, and even embrace times of work-life imbalance without all the internal struggle. This felt nothing less than miraculous. The best part is that it's not a mystery. It's just a new way of approaching an old challenge. In this new approach, you can lean into different seasons of your life without losing your relationships, your job, your sanity, your well-being. Indicators your survival model might be running the show. So how do you know where and when your survival model's at play? Here's a few indicators. Avoiding lunch breaks, never calling in sick to the detriment of your own well-being, out of a need to prove something. feeling like you never do enough, aren't appreciated, and you're depleted and exhausted. Giving all your time away to others, and then silently feeling resentful and frustrated that your priorities never make it to the top of the list. Spending excess amounts of time trying to prevent mistakes for fear of disappointing or failing. And another, overcommitting yourself and your family out of a fear of saying no or not doing enough. When you can create a state of internal balance, it becomes less important whether you have balance on the outside, and you can find yourself even thriving in very adverse, demanding circumstances. Achieving balance in our lives can feel like it requires a complete overhaul to the way we live. The truth is, your power lies in zooming in on this little moment at hand and choosing a different, better frame of mind and approach right where you are. Here are a few simple ways to start. Our thinking has huge impact on our ability to experience balance and fulfillment. If you find yourself thinking things like, I have no work-life balance, I never have enough time, I'll never get everything done, these thoughts alone are likely robbing your precious time, energy, and good mood. Pivot your thinking to things that are within your control to shift. You might instead ask yourself, what can I get done today that would have the greatest impact? Where can I make some time today for something that will enhance the quality of my life and focus on what matters? When you ask good questions, you're once again in control of shaping the way you feel and your output for the day. And when you feel better, you're likely to get more done. Shift your focus. Check your focus regularly. You might find that your survival model causes you to fixate on what is missing or lacking in your life, thereby leaving you with few options and feeling powerless. Perhaps you find yourself in a busy season at work, and today you feel like you're neglecting life at home. Instead of feeling guilty and feeling enormous amounts of pressure to make huge life changes, simply ask yourself, what's one little thing I can do today to bring the attention I desire to my home life? What's one thing that would fill up that tank that makes me feel great, connected, and like I've spent some quality time with my family? Maybe it's planning an extra dinner together around the table this week. Or maybe it's putting a surprise note in your daughter's lunchbox. Or a love note via text to your spouse. That would make all the difference. It's a matter of shifting to what you do want and then taking a simple, small step that aligns with that very thing. Soon, these little micro movements create traction towards the big changes you desire. Do differently instead of more. The survival model often keeps us locked into behaviors that may no longer make sense, and they're on autopilot, but we find ourselves still doing them. Make it your mission to find all the places where you're wasting precious energy and time due to outdated rules and beliefs that may no longer apply. Here are some examples. Saying yes to things when you really mean no. Overgiving and extending yourself for others and feeling depleted, resentful, angry. Being the go-to for everyone and finding your own priorities at the bottom of the list. Over-helping in situations that are not yours to manage. Talking or worrying about things in which you have no control or influence to change. Invent a new game. If you're clear that the old game, find balance, isn't working, invent something new. What new approach or game could you invent that would create a possibility, allow you to win, and generate the results and rewards you crave? In the book, Art of Possibility, it says it's all invented anyway, so we might as well invent a framework of meaning that enhances our quality of life and the life of those around us. When you shift your focus from seeking balance to cultivating fulfillment and balance right where you are, things begin to change. If you feel alive, engaged, and fulfilled in this moment, does the desire for balance go away or become less important? From my own experience in watching others, it does. And lastly, instead of seeking balance, create it. So maybe there's nothing to find, only something to create. When you turn your focus to tending the inside, things begin to look different on the outside. Daily life isn't always balanced, but when you begin to take 100% responsibility for creating your inner world, you just might find you have what it takes to thrive in the midst of crazy on the outside. As you turn your focus from seeking balance to creating it in this very moment, these little movements over time transform into the big changes you desired all along. And that feeling of balance may just wash over and surprise you when you least expect it. Hey, I wanted to pop in and let you know that my team and I created something special for you. Head on over to the show notes of this episode, and waiting for you is a free downloadable guide on creating more balance in your life. I think you're going to like it. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Differently. I hope it stirred your thinking, and I invite you to take one inspired action from something that stood out to you. If you want to hear more conversations like this, hit follow on your favorite podcast app. And if this episode could impact someone you know, please pass it along. Remember, new episodes drop weekly. See you next week.